common phrase that came about, I don't know, over the last 20, 30 years is women can have it all. No, they can't. Nobody has it all, right? Not man or woman.
Yeah.
So you can be the most successful woman financially. You could be the CEO of God knows what, right? But I don't care who you are. If you haven't got somebody to come home to at night that is real with you. Now, not everybody wants kids, so let's leave that aside for the moment. But somebody that's real with you, then you are missing out on something.
You're lacking, yeah.
You are lacking something.
Do you see women nowadays with a lot of those qualities that your mum had or that your wife has got currently? From what you can see.
Well, obviously times have changed, and with change, it's not always for the better. So on to try and answer your question, what has been better is that women have become more empowered, and it is becoming a fairer society. It's still not there, but a fairer society. So women can aspire to and acquire in different industries great roles. And that is something that didn't happen 30, 40 years ago on a very generic scale. But with that, let's just say, increase in power, as the advert says, comes responsibility. So to come back to your question regarding my son's generation, I see my observation is that you have a lot of young women who are doing great things in terms of they have financial independence and they have, great careers. But what seems to, in my opinion, is lacking is this empathy about being a good partner to their husband. And that sometimes that doesn't mean sucking up to any man, not at all. But that means sometimes understanding their weaknesses. Women seem to be, a lot of the young women I observe, it is, what can you bring for me? If you're not bringing X, Y, Z, then boy, run along, right? Is there the feeling of let's build something together? A phrase that used to be around again when I was growing up is they used to say women used to mold men, and that's true. That's true. But to mold something, it takes time and effort. I don't think generically that a lot of the younger women around today are prepared to mold a man for their benefit, not for his, for theirs as well.
Do you think there's a lack of patience there? Like, nowadays, not just women, but men in general, we want everything ready-made. We want it now. There's no, going back to you and the relationship with your wife now, I'm your nephew. I know the story. I know that you've been together for a very long time, and you've very much grown over the years together and built together and become very successful together.
Yeah.
But maybe some people who don't know you might look from the outside and think that's happened overnight. But what they don't see is the building from the actual start. Do you think women nowadays and men are willing to just say, see something in somebody and say, I'm going to stick with you. I got faith with you. We're going to build something together.
Again, generically, I think the answer is no. And as I was telling my kids the other day, I said, you're part of the instant generation. Everything has to be now. Everything. Simple example. I, as you well know, I used to have some banger motors, right? Like literally. And I used to think to myself, that's all right, because when I'm, 5 years down the line, I'll have the car of my dreams. Even 10 years down the line, maybe I was a bit too patient. Now I see young people who, quite frankly, haven't done anything, but they all feel that they need to be rolling in like the latest car, because everything has to be instant generation. So to go back to your question, do I think, and this goes for both men and women, do I think that they are prepared to put in the hard yards in order to gain something? I think the answer is no.
Well, do you think as well, when we go back to your parents, do you think them coming from the kind of background they've come from, coming from the Caribbean, coming from struggle really, kind of influenced, like maybe them being together wasn't so much about love and, I love you, and it was about surviving. It was about survival. And they knew together they're much stronger than being separate. Yeah. I think nowadays it might be a thing where people are thinking, I don't need you because I can financially be okay without you.
Yeah.
And
it was a journey for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a journey.
It was a journey.
Yeah, it was more of a we thing. Now it's more like an I thing. I'm independent. I don't need no man. I don't need, like, where do you think that's been lost?
I think that is an excellent point, and I think it's absolutely accurate. But again, I coin that phrase again. With power comes responsibility. So talking about our sisters, right? They have become more financially independent, which is a good thing. But just because you're financially independent and you can stand on your own 2 feet by yourself, doesn't mean you should be by yourself, right? Doesn't mean that is better for you holistically. Now, another common phrase that came about, I don't know, over the last 20, 30 years is women can have it all. No, they can't. Nobody has it all, right? Not man or woman.
Yeah.
So you can be the most successful woman financially. You could be the CEO of God knows what, right? But I don't care who you are. If you haven't got somebody to come home to at night that is real with you. Now, not everybody wants kids, so let's leave that aside for the moment. But somebody that's real with you, then you are missing out on something.
You're lacking, yeah.
You are lacking something.
So much experience that could be had when you're in a relationship where you're building something together and you're moving in the right direction. I do wonder actually if some of that behaviour is from the back of, we've done an episode on, it's like single parent families, and I wonder if, same example that you had, where you had, your mum and your dad there, I wonder if they were raised in homes where they had an independent, strong woman there, and therefore believe wholeheartedly, I can replicate this. I think we all sometimes strive to achieve what we see our parents doing. We try to do it, and I wonder if that's getting in the mix a bit, and then not knowing how to deal with a man doing some of those jobs.
And undoubtedly, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Stuart. This is not about women bashing. This is not about saying women are doing you're wrong. It's about they are doing something, and there are legitimate reasons why they've got to this point, right? They have got to this point because of partially of what you said, single parents, which invariably a lot of the time means a mother. So you see a mother that has brought you up single-handedly sometimes, and she has been the mother and the father. So for a lot of young women, they can think to themselves, hang on, my mum did it, why can't I do it? Put on top of that, they've now moved into an era where opportunities for women are much greater. So if you are a young woman that is ambitious and you are prepared to hard work, you can now elevate yourself to a great status. And it's quite easy to see how they now get to a point of thinking, I don't need no man. I don't need no man, right? And, when I have a little fun, I've got my little fun thing there, and that's all great. But the point being is that I have seen so many women in their mid-30s, in their 40s, right? On the surface, fantastic women, right? In terms of looks, in terms of brain power, in terms of wonderful people. Ridiculous number of them, all single. Ridiculous. And I look at it and I observe it and I think, wow, you're okay. Yes, I know men need to improve their stuff in lots of ways, but there just seems to be, it's always, not always, I want to say it's always, but there seems to be often a particular type of woman that seems to be single, and they are very driven, very super well put together. And on the surface, you think, my God, that is a great catch. Why? But the question is, why are they? I see so many of them. I'm talking lots, and I don't think it's a unique experience that I've seen. Why are they by themselves? And I think part of the reason is some of the things we've touched on is they do feel that they can do everything by themselves. They do feel that maybe, why do I need a man in my life, right? But as I said, you can be a CEO of the most successful company in the world. If you haven't got somebody to come home to, and again, about how do I help, I suppose, I don't want to say mother a man, help a man be a man, let a man be a man. As opposed to want to be the man and the woman.